Welcome to our midnight special, everybody. Great to see everybody back. We've got a decent crowd coming in here tonight. We're not going to keep you long. It's midnight, but I felt like we needed to come back on tonight. We got some serious stuff going on. I don't understand how the former head of the FBI could be this stupid. Had my hat on backwards. It's been that kind of night. Hope you enjoyed Bill Federer earlier tonight, and you know, this is what we do here on the MCFiles. We try to keep you informed of things going on, and we've just had such a whirlwind week. President Trump being in the Arab world of Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Immigrants and Immigrants. I'm sorry. I got immigrants on my mind tonight, illegal ones. But what a whirlwind week. He came out today with the UAE with another $1.3 trillion commitment to investments here in America. $600 billion from the Saudis. That's $2 trillion, folks, with a T, not with a B, but with a T. That's going to result in millions of jobs. He's got another trade deal sealed tonight. India and us are now not charging either one tariffs. And I'm telling you, this is going to send a reverberation through the stock market over the next couple of days. Tomorrow's Friday, it'll be the end of the business week. We've got another days coming in next week. But I really believe there is going to be some major economic news coming down the pike. And it's all good. And I salute President Trump. Look, and I'm grateful. I may not trust the Arab world no farther than I can throw him. I don't believe the Syria leader is sincere, but perhaps Trump's incentive to tell them they can come out of this poverty with economics and help from the United States to get them back out of the abyss of the caveman years. If they would just behave themselves and stop killing Christians and stop trying to kill the Jews, perhaps then maybe Syria can have hope. But it's just a sense watching him, President Trump, today on that stage, watching him yesterday, watching him Tuesday, in the three nations that he visited, where the nation of America, folks, is now respected again. The United Arab Immigrants, there I go again, Emirates, lit up several of their buildings with USA flags, red, white, and blue. That would have never happened. It's never happened with any other president ever. I don't know of any president, folks, going back to Reagan, and Reagan exuded a lot of strength, but he was never respected like this around the world like Donald Trump is. And I know that some of it is Trump's business acumen and I'm sure a lot of these people he has rubbed shoulders with. And I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to hear it. And I think it's going to be good for our country. We've been sort of having a theme this week in our shows, both the radio and the television, the video show of the MCFiles, that when America's right, the world is right. When America is not leading and we're wrong, the world goes into chaos. And we can't solve every single problem of the world, but we can at least wield our power in such a way that the world will think twice about doing, if there's an evil regime out there or an evil nation that wants to raise its head and cause problems, cause war, cause conflict, if they fear the United States and what we will do for the good, that we won't call good evil and evil good, but we'll have moral clarity to know what's evil and what's not, then it is a deterrent. At the very least, it's a deterrent. I wish I could report better news out of Russia tonight. Excuse me, it's a little late. It's been a long day today, and have two shows is pretty rough. We're going to go a little wider tonight. I got some video I'm going to play for you. Tomorrow night on McJustice, we'll incorporate some of these things. We may have a double feature again tomorrow night. Leslie Milwee, we was hoping to get Leslie on, and we got a little behind and wound up coming an hour later, and she's already called it a night. I told her it might be late, but we'll try to get her on earlier. I really want to talk to her about the Clinton situation. And James Akers, hadn't heard from him tonight either, so we may not get either one of them. But anyway, I wanted to come on and talk to you a little bit about this situation with James Comey tonight. Comey is the former FBI director, and for many of you that are not aware of what happened earlier tonight, we're going to play a video from Jesse Walters, but I'll just show you the tweet. He's deleted this. Of course, they always delete it when they get their backsides caught. And this is pretty incredible stuff for a director to do this. He claims that he was walking down the beach, saw this shell formation, and he tweets out, he says, cool shell formation on my beach walk, 8647. And folks, that is, we know what 47 represents. 86 is a term that MS-13 gang members use to signal the word kill without actually saying kill 47. Now, he claims it was just a joke, and he was, when I say it's a joke, he claimed he wasn't trying to be political with it. He didn't realize it would cause such a stir, and I absolutely do not believe that, and I don't think you do either. I'm going to put a poll up tonight. Let me see if I can put it up now. His explanation was basically that he was not doing it on purpose, but when he responded, he said, let me see if I can get the exact quote. I want to be sure I've got the exact quote. Gateway Pundit has got it. Basically, he deleted it, and then let me just give you unbelievable comment. Yeah, let me get the comment that he made after it was deleted. He said, I posted earlier a picture. In fact, let me do this real quick. I'll just show it to you. I can do this quicker than I can read it. I'm just going to post this right here, and we'll bring it into the chat tonight. I'm just curious, though, if you believe for a second that a former FBI director would not know what the term 86 means, but this is his response. He says, I posted earlier a picture of some shells I saw today on a beach walk, which I assumed were a political message. I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. Now, that's rich. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down. I want you to notice two things are missing in this post. Number one, he doesn't say I'm sorry. Number two, he doesn't mention Trump in the apology. He didn't say I oppose violence against President Trump. He just says I oppose violence of any kind. So that tells me he knew exactly what he was doing. There is a lot of voices tonight already at this late hour. Just within the last hour, my representative that lives about a half hour west of me, Tim Burchett, he is calling for Comey's arrest. Tulsi Gabbard's calling for his arrest. Don Jr. is calling for his arrest. I'm not so sure President Trump's even aware of this right now. He's over in the UAE. They're headed home tomorrow. He may stop in Turkey. They're headed back to D.C. for the weekend. I'm going to talk about Turkey in a minute. Russia didn't show up today. And this is where I was saying that the United States, folks, we have a lot of influence right now, but we are not the world's policemen, and there are some things we just can't do, and Trump can't do, and he's mocked for the things he can't do instead of being praised for the things that he is doing. Folks, to walk away from 3 Arab countries with agreements of peace and agreements that they're willing to work with us and agreements in principle that because we stand with Israel, they're not going to overtly attack. And Trump told the Saudis Tuesday night, he said, if you're going to honor me, then honor my friend Israel. Honor Israel. Go back to the peace table. Have peace. Have peace. So told Qatar the same thing. Told the UAE the same thing. He's never praised for any of it. He's still being mocked out there by the left-wing media tonight. And this piece of crap right here, you know, he's acting like that he don't know as a former FBI director and a former attorney what the word 86 means. Oh, come on. I am just curious. I'll do a unscientific poll. I'm gonna put a poll up here in the chat for you tonight. And please, folks, good to see everybody, but no paragraphs if you don't mind. It just takes away and distracts. Let's see. Do you believe James Comey did not know and does not know? Hang on just a second. Does not know what 86 means. It's just a simple yes or no question. There's the poll. We just posted it in the chat. I'll let you vote on that. Annie Jensen, TDS much? Yeah, Trump derangement syndrome. You're doggone right. He's calling for the assassination, folks, of the president. And I mean, I don't care how you shake the water and how you try to, you know, put Chanel number 5 on it. It's out there. Now, he has deleted that tweet. That's the other thing. If it was so innocent, why do you delete the tweet? If you were just walking on the beach and you think it's cool, then you wouldn't worry. See, when people start deleting stuff like that and they try to scrub their social media things, then, it's a good indication that what was out there was what they actually felt. I've seen this happen before. People trash the living you-know-what out of this network, and then they always hide behind other social media pages when they're called out for it. But that's mild. This is serious right here. And folks, this is gonna be, I think, a story over the weekend, and I'm not so sure that James Comey may not wind up behind bars. Kash Patel tonight has said he's aware of the tweet. Kristi Noem is actually the one who reported the tweet, I think, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm reading. That's why I was hoping to get James Akers on tonight to talk to us. And anyway, let me just send one message here. Let me see here. I'm talking to Leslie. She's telling me that she's probably not going to be able to do it. But anyway, this is an earthquake. And Annie, your point is well taken. Welcome from the Philippines tonight. Annie is from the Philippines, and Annie, it's good to see you tonight. Always a pleasure to see you in the house. And we got a lot of overseas people and got a lot of people on the West Coast tonight. But you need to keep an eye on this. I'm just curious, folks. I mean, I'm just curious. I put a poll out there just now, and we've got 94% only. Let me see, 94 to 6. We've got 36 votes. I can't believe that 6% of the people that would believe that a former FBI director, a former prosecutor, a former lawyer would not know what 86 means. That he's not saying something in that tweet. Unless you just, I'm not going to say what I was about to say. That's an assassination attempt. And see what's happening, there's another story that's sort of a sidebar to this, and it gets even darker. I want to pull this into our newswire from the Gateway Pundit, if you'll bear with me, because there's another story that he actually was out there tonight sort of giving signals, a plea to bad actors and terrorists to assassinate POTUS while traveling international. This is a story. Let me just read the story right here. Now, it may be tied to this tweet here, but we're going to talk about our Nashville city. Nashville has gone crazy here in Tennessee. But this is a more intriguing thing. President Donald Trump's close aide, Dan Scavino, is called out, former director, this was earlier tonight, for posting a plea to bad actors to assassinate POTUS while traveling internationally with his now deleted 8647. A short while later, Scavino cryptically posted FAFO. I'm not going to tell you what that means. If you don't know it, it's not important. Scavino says Comey truly is a POS. While he'll claim not to know what 8647 means, there's no doubt that the former disgraced FBI director knows exactly what he's doing. With a plea to bad actors to assassinate the POTUS while traveling internationally, don't let him get away with it. Folks, that's the other thing about this tonight. He's doing this, and he was doing this not while Trump was in the country, but while Trump is in a area of the world, let's just be frank with you folks, where Trump's at is not the most safest of places. He's in a hotbed of Islamic terrorism. He's in a hotbed of area where those people hate the United States. There's a group of Arabs that hate the United States. Now, the governments are throwing the red carpet out because we're making business deals, and all this business is good for them. It's good for us. And look, I applaud the fact he's basically brought $2 trillion back to America because of this trip, maybe more. And millions of jobs. And we're going to see that, the ripple effect that later. But why the timing? The timing on this is extremely important. But I just hope Kash Patel has got the kahunas to do it. I know that it's going to create a time bomb in the Democrat circles. Look, if these people can't even handle arresting the mayor of New York, New Jersey, who was basically trespassing and busting into an ICE facility over the last couple of days, and these spineless, cowardless Dems going before CNN on the weekend after they got their carcasses arrested for doing the same thing. Menendez's boy, McIver, this representative up in New Jersey, and there's another one or two of them, and they're just screaming. They're the persecuted ones. So you have James Comey come out at a time that President Trump is overseas. So he tells them to 8647, and he don't know what 86 means? Really? I'm with Scavino. That don't pass the smell test, and I've got another word for it, but it is a midnight special. We're going to keep the midnight special on a PG-13 level tonight, even though I don't want to. But this is crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, any TDS is much. That's for sure. That is absolutely for sure. Trump derangement syndrome. Now, let me play a video. This is Tulsi Gabbard tonight. I've got the video here. It's on the Gateway Story, and I'll just go ahead and play it directly off of the page here. If you'll let me just upload it here for a second. We have been getting... This has been a developing story. We were on air tonight with Bill Federer at 9, and it just broke when we went on at 9, or we'd probably been able to do more. But here's Tulsi Gabbard tonight on Jesse, and I think she says it best. Roll the tape.
Comey should be in jail.
I do. Any other person with the position of influence that he has, people who take very seriously what a guy of his stature, his experience, and what the propaganda media has built him up to be, I'm very concerned for the president's life. We've already seen assassination attempts. I'm very concerned for his life, and James Comey, in my view, should be held accountable and put behind bars for this.
James Comey should be held accountable and put behind bars for this. The question is, will he? The question is, will he? There it is right there, folks. 8647 is basically a term that is used by gang members. It is a MS-13 thing, actually. When they say we're going to 86 somebody. Look, I'm not even I got a degree in criminal justice, but I'm not even an investigator in the police department. But when I saw that 86, I've heard the term 86 is enough to know that that's exactly what it means. It means to kill somebody. If you 86 somebody, that's what it means. So we're going to see how this plays out tonight, and we'll get your thoughts about it. But anyway, there's other things going on tonight I want to talk about. We got some video for you, and this is... let's see here. I think this is Cash Patel. That's not his tweet. But let's see here. Where do we want to start tonight? Here is Laura Ingraham. I had to refresh the page. I knew I had more than that. Here's Laura Ingraham tonight on this. Roll the tape.
Yes, this is a Fox News alert. Disgrace to FBI Director James Comey making a threatening post against Donald Trump. This is a Fox News alert. Disgrace to FBI Director James Comey making a threatening post against Donald Trump. Fox's Peter Ducey is live. Fox's Peter Ducey is live from Abu Dhabi with all the details. My goodness, Peter.
And Laura, the real head scratcher about this very serious topic is that James Comey wants us to believe, and we have this photo here, that he saw a cool, these are his words, cool shell formation on my beach walk. And the cool shell formation, according to the person who used to be in charge of the FBI, shows shells in the shape of 8647. 86 is common restaurant lingo, of course, for denying service to somebody. But after about 30 seconds of Googling, you can see that a good chunk of people all around the world also associate 86 with meaning to kill somebody. An old mob saying, basically, you take somebody 8 miles outside of town and then you put them 6 feet in the ground. James Comey, again, a guy who has prosecuted mobsters, apparently had no idea that this was a thing. He deleted the original post with the cool shell formation, and he writes, I posted a picture earlier of some shells I saw today on a beach walk, which I assumed were a political message. I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, and I took the post down. That's not enough for Donald Trump Jr. He says, just James Comey casually calling for my dad to be murdered. This is who the Dem media worships. Demented. And Kash Patel, as we were coming to air, the new FBI director, one of Comey's successors, is saying that he is in touch with the Secret Service, and they are going to be sending Secret Service agents to talk to James Comey about what exactly he was getting at. Patel says, we are aware of the recent tweet by former FBI Director James Comey directed at President Trump. We are in communication with the Secret Service and Director Curran. Primary jurisdiction is with the Secret Service on these matters, and we, the FBI, will provide all necessary support. This is, of course, a president who has had 2 assassination attempts on him within the last 365 days. We were with him at an airbase in Qatar this morning. He was telling the story about Butler, PA. The security footprint, especially on an international trip like this, is extraordinary. We watched the president's motorcade go by our hotel earlier. It's like seeing a fast, like a sped up video of a hour-long parade. There are so many cars, there are so many threats that exist against the President of the United States, coming from international actors, rogue actors. We did not think that we were going to see a former FBI director from here in Abu Dhabi suggesting something like this, but most White House officials at 3 a.m. here in Abu Dhabi appear to be asleep due to, unless they're just ignoring my text messages for some other reason. So we would expect a ton of reaction to this around sun up in 2 or 3 hours.
Well, Peter, this is the same man, James Comey, who implicitly, explicitly said that Donald Trump and his tactics are threats to democracy, threats to the future stability of America, threats to our norms. So are we to believe that the interesting shell formation is just another, that's a norm? Is that what we're supposed to say is normal now?
Well, Laura, yes, all true. Are we supposed to believe that James Comey, one of the world's most famous investigators ever, was just walking on a beach somewhere and he came across shells? There was nobody helped the shells get into this shape to say 86, 47.
No. No,
I don't know. I go to the beach all the time. You know what happens after somebody lays out shells like that? 1 minute later, they get washed away.
Well,
I don't know.
You're in a,
it sounds like the Secret Service is about to find out.
As if there wasn't enough news this week in the Middle East.
Yep.
Now.
Yeah, and that's Laura Ingram. I'm going to play an audio clip. This was tonight earlier, but she interviewed a Secret Service agent, and I really wish James was up tonight because I would bet you he would love to go off on this. Brad Johnson would go off on it. Eric Caron's out of the country. He would probably be person to talk to about this too. But I'm going to play the audio clip of this. We'll have this downloaded for tomorrow night. This will probably be on our Make Justice show. This is a crime issue, but I want you to listen to this. This is a former Secret Service agent. You're going to hear his words, but it'll come through the. I want you to listen to this. Roll the tape.
Does James Comey's explanation of this pass any straight face test? A shell formation, which is a threat to Donald Trump's life, is just something he came across on the beach.
Yeah, of course he did. He also came across the abominable snowman and Sasquatch while he was walking along the beach. Listen, this guy James Comey's been a problem since day one. He likes to talk about how Trump is unethical, immoral, a threat to the United States. Yeah, how about the former director of the FBI has got nothing better to do than put shells in a formation that says 86, 24/7, and then he claims, well, I just happen to find this, and you want to talk about this guy's mental cognition? Let's compare him to Joe Biden. Are you kidding me? This is just more of the same from, 120 or so days ago. This guy's trying to stay relevant. He's a complete zero, and this latest episode just shows what a complete clown show he is and the FBI is. And now the Secret Service is going to say, well, we're going to investigate. Are you kidding me? The Secret Service is no better now than it was when it had those last two directors. These guys can't get out of their own way. The FBI is a complete disgrace still. Kash Patel, Danny Bongino, Sean Curran over the service need to clean house and get it done now. And I hope Pam Bondi and her people go after this guy with everything that he's worth. You're the former director of the FBI, the president of the United States, who, by the way, was rightly elected, is out of the country, in the Middle East, no less, talking to one of our greatest threats, the Iranians, the Qataris, and you go and you pull a stunt like this? How juvenile. This is high school, but you know what? This guy needs to be prosecuted. This has got to stop.
Yeah, well, and this is after we still don't know anything about.
And that's the end of that clip. That we'll have more of that tomorrow. But I just want to say something about the Iranians tonight, folks. This is how crazy all this is. Trump announced he was with the UAE folks earlier, and right before they sort of signed off for the night, they were at a table, had an American flag behind him, and he announced that the Iranians have, in principle, agreed to talk to him, and we may very well have an Iranian deal on the table that they stop this pursuit of this nuclear weapon. Now, we can't announce that for sure tonight, but this is the insanity of this. But I'll agree. I'm going to tell you something. I agree 1,000,000% with what this guy just said. And it bothers me a little bit. Kash Patel shouldn't even be saying we're looking into it. Their carcasses should have been at the door of James Comey tonight, and his ass should have been in handcuffs in a police cell, charged with threatening the president. There ain't one of you out there. If you was to post something like that on social media about Joe Biden, or you even right now, if you posted it about Barack Obama, or you posted it about Clinton, or you threatened the life of any president, and you said anything remotely close to that they would not be coming knocking at your door, and rightfully so. You don't threaten the life of presidents. You don't threaten the life of anybody, folks. But this is what, again, drives me insane and to drink, and I don't drink, but it drives me to the desire to drink. Because it's just like there's always been two sets of laws. The Democrats can do this stuff all the time, and nothing is done. These people that was at that ICE facility over the weekend, they should not be walking free tonight. They should be in jail, charged with trespassing, charged with assault, criminal burglary, if you want to get down to it, knocking over things, destruction of property. It's a public facility. It's a government facility. I walked into the post office the other day, and there's a little sign there that anyone robbing a post office is subject to a federal crime up to 30 years in prison. And then underneath, there's a little other signs. Anybody seen destroying property, destroying any part of this facility, this is a federal facility, you're subject to 20 to 30 years imprisonment. Well, if that's good for Chris McDonald, dadgummit, it's good for the Dems. And it's good for this black lady from New Jersey. It's good for the New York mayor. It's good for James Comey tonight. It's good for all of them. And they all need to be in jail. But my question is, why are they not in jail? Why do we have to go through this show every time? And I guarantee you, I would not be putting a lot of money in stock that Comey will see any jail. Now, what I'm waiting for is when President Trump wakes up in the morning. Now, I'm sure somebody has told him in the night. I'm surprised, because Trump gets up early. Trump may beat me off the show. He might be already up. But I can't wait to see the True Social account light up. What he's got to say about this one. Because this one's going to be popcorn worthy. I'm going to get me a bag of popcorn, and I am going to watch this one unfold. Because there has never been any love lost between Donald Trump and James Comey. Folks, the truth of the matter is James Comey was probably one of the architects. He was one of the protectors of Hillary Clinton. She should have been sent to jail in 2016. It was his doing and his doing alone that basically stopped that investigation into her email. And And look, he has had it out for Trump, and he backstabbed Trump left and right. He pushed this Russia hoax. He pushed Bob Mueller. Jeff Sessions, I swear to God, I don't understand in a million years who told Trump to put Jeff Sessions in there and then Bill Barr after him, Chris Christie. I mean, for God's sake, the first term, I know that Trump has, learned a lot of things, but these people put this country through explicit hell for no reason. Every bit of that was lies. None of it was true. None of it. So he pulls this crap tonight, and all of a sudden, he's saying, well, I don't know what 8647 means. So while he needs to be in jail, and he should be in jail tonight, I wouldn't be, if I was cash for jail, I wouldn't be tweeting out nothing. I wouldn't even put it on social media. If I was paying bondage tonight, I wouldn't let James Comey sleep in his own bed tonight. I would do to him exactly what they did to Roger Stone. I'd have the Fox News crew, and I would have the television cameras ready and get it lined up and geared up and be waiting for him about 4 o'clock in the morning and bang on his door like they did Roger Stone and other Trump supporters during the time of the Russia hoax situation and the COVID crap and all this stuff with the elections and Rudy Giuliani, the way they did him, get him out at 4 o'clock in the morning in his pajamas and have CNN camera lights glaring in him. What's good for the goose, as my dad used to say, is good for the gander. That's an old Southern saying. It's a good saying. Because, folks, until that happens, this stuff's not going to stop. This is not going to stop until somebody is pert-walked on the left. There are always pert-walking people on the right. But until somebody of importance goes to prison and pays a price for this crap they're doing, and folks, Ducey made the great point. President Trump was almost killed twice last year. You realize that? Not even a year ago. We're coming up on the year anniversary in July of what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. And then the other thing happened in August of last year. We're not even a year past what happened, and we still don't have full answers to those assassination attempts. And I don't know what Pam Bondi and Cash are doing, but dadgummit, we need to find out who these two men were, who they were paid for, who they were paid by, what was going on. Why did some punk kid get within 100 yards of Donald Trump with a freaking automatic weapon? And then this jackanapes tonight puts an assassination attempt out there. Let me tell you something. He better be daggum glad that Chris McDonald ain't the Federal Bureau of Investigators head and the Secret Service head. There would be no tweeting. No, there would be handcuffing. There'd be handcuffing tonight. And he would feel what it would feel like had he done his job where Hillary should be at tonight. I ain't quite finished with Hillary yet. Because she's out there claiming that Trump did a quid pro quo, which, in other words, they give you something for exchange of something. And we're working on a story for tomorrow night because it'll sort of tie into McJustice. If you saw the list of the quid pro quos the Clinton Foundation received from Qatar, and she has the audacity to say that Trump is getting this jet, that they're not even giving it to Trump, they're giving it to the Defense Department. The money Qatar gave was directly to Hillary and Bill Clinton for favors. Chris did not kill himself, I'm just saying. Chris did not kill himself. I'm just saying, man. James O'Keefe's even out there saying that tonight. It's elementary, my dear Watson. It's elementary, my dear Watson. Crazy stuff. I've got, so much to talk about tonight. I don't know even where to start. I don't want to keep you to... I don't want to keep you till midnight. It's already midnight, but you folks out west, I don't want to keep you till midnight tonight. So let me play a couple of other quick videos. I'm going to take your comments on this. It's just, did you see this today? Holy crap. This is another fire lightning rod. Did you see the owner of Ben and Jerry's? Who basically give you a cup of ice cream that is not even as big as this cup right here. And it's $11. The most overpriced, worst ice cream in America. How do you like my cup there? I like that cup there. Anyway, here is Robert F. K. Jr. just talking about budget stuff today in front of a feckless Congress, and the Free Palestine folks busted in, and none other than Ben Cohen of Ben and Jerry's was right there screaming, Congress is supporting the killing of babies in Gaza.
Anybody thinks that we did gold standard medicine in this country from these institutions, look at our children. They're the sickest children in the world. Lori, you say that excuse me, Congressman DeLauro, you say that you've worked for 20 years on getting food dye out. Give me credit. I got it out in 100 days.
I'll give you that credit.
All right, so let's work together and do something that we all believe in, which is have healthy kids in our country, for God's sake.
Ms.
We're all doing
Vane.
that together. It's not, there's no such thing as Republican children or Democratic children. There's just kids, and we should all be concerned with them.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Ms. Dane.
Yeah, that was the hearing
Secretary.
today. That was the hearing today, and I thought that was the clip where they had the ruckus. Actually, we may have it on our Twitter handle, and we do. Goodness gracious. Anyway, we'll have that for tomorrow night, but it erupted into chaos. It was that today, that happened today, and the Free Palestine people broke in and interrupted RFK. I'll be honest with you folks, you can say what you want to about RFK Jr. I think of between him, Hexteth, and Holman, Marco Rubio, Tulsi Gabbard, to me, they're the 5 most effective cabinet members of Trump. RFK's doing his job. He is smacking down Big Pharma. He is smacking down these godless dyes in our foods. He's doing his very best, and he's weathering the storm. He's standing firm, and I've been very shocked, to be honest with you. I did not see this coming, and I tip my hat to John Fetterman tonight. John Fetterman is going to lose probably in the next election because he's standing for Israel, and he's standing for the right thing. And many times when you stand for the right thing and you do right, people leave. And you know, that's okay. Because I don't care how many walk out, God sends about 25 more to walk back in. And I will tell you this, John Fetterman has my utmost respect. I wish the man would run as a Republican. I'd vote for him. I'd actually move to Pennsylvania and vote for the man. And but he's doing the right thing. Here is, I'm not sure what this clip is. What is this clip? What is this? Oh yeah, that's the UAE tonight. You don't think that we're getting respected again? The Lord had more to look at that. That would have never happened. That would have never happened with the Bush presidency. It would have never happened with Clinton. It would have never happened with Obama. Sure wouldn't have happened with Biden. Or if we'd had a, God forbid, a Kamala presidency. That happened tonight. That's never been done. That's never been done in the UAE. So that's how they feel about Trump. And let me play this video because this even speaks better than that. This is the Arabs, how they felt about him today. I think I've got this clip. All of these clips are on my Twitter handle, and I didn't download the actual feed. Here's another picture. Here's another picture of the UAE tonight. That is Qatar, actually. This was yesterday before Trump left. That's what they did in Qatar. Again, all sorts of buildings throughout the cities were highlighted with American flags. And as the old saying goes, that's what it means to have a leader in the house. Going back to this video here, even though it wasn't the clip I wanted, he was telling Congress that he says, you say, you all claim you've been working for 20 years on getting food dye out. He said, I've been in here in 100 days and I've done it. And he's basically telling the Dems, he said, shut your trap, get to work, do your job. To the Republicans, shut your trap, get to work, and do your job. None of which they're doing tonight. I salute RFK Jr. I salute John Fetterman. I salute President Trump. I salute Tulsi Gabbard. Took some guts to go on Jesse Waters and call for the arrest of the former FBI director. And Interesting stuff. I got to get my glasses on because I am just absolutely gonna. I don't know what I can't see without it. This is let's see what we're looking at here. Let's see here. Give me 1 minute here because we got some stuff I want to show you. We're gonna have such a great Justice tomorrow night. A lot of video. Going to be a little crazy. You might need to hide the kids. But anyway, here's CNN. I'll find what I'm looking for on Twitter and then download it. But this is CNN basically recognizing that the problem is not Trump. Roll the tape.
Are mad. Why the base is mad at some of the leaders in Washington is not because they're not left enough. It's because, Chuck Schumer came out with no strategy, no forewarning, and just said, we're going to fold on the CR. I mean, I think he could have done a better job of explaining what the strategy was and what we're going to do, but there wasn't anything like that. I think Democrats are learning, and I'm going to agree with you, that Democrats cannot only be the party of resistance. We cannot, we resisted so hard between 2017 and 2024. We impeached the guy. We prosecuted him, convicted him of 34 felony counts, and guess what? He still got elected. So I don't know how much harder we can resist right now.
Are you admitting that that the case against Trump in New York was part of the organized Democratic Party resistance?
It was a Democratic prosecutor, and at the time, I thought it was unwise. I went on Fox News and said
there were Democrats who said this at the time.
There were a lot.
Just to be clear, this wasn't. Just to be clear, everybody who now touts the 34 felonies. Take it from Liz. This was not a real case. This was a plot to upend the presidential campaign, which
I just think it was a boneheaded move by Alvin Bragg, but it's not his first or last one. So.
This is why we invite Liz, because she's plain-spoken New York Paul, who can really tell it straightforward in a straightforward.
Yep, and that's CNN admitting what we've all known, that all this has been a sham and a fraud. Here is, I do want to show this picture here. I mentioned this earlier tonight. This is the pregnant woman that Hamas killed, the Palestinian terrorists. Actually, it may not have been Hamas, but they killed this woman here. She's pregnant. Sadly, she is dead, but the baby survived. This is, she was on her way to deliver the baby, and a Palestinian terrorist killed her. And I put this on my timeline, but Israel, people claim, is the aggressor and not the victim or of Islamic violence. Let me tell you this, neighbor. Israel's not the aggressor. Israel didn't kill that pregnant woman. Israel didn't kill her. The Palestinian terrorists did. And that's life in the Middle East. Let's see here. Here is good news. I'm going to play the Clinton video, and I'll be more prepared with video. Big news tonight. We mentioned the India thing. India has now offered President Trump 0 tariffs on all American goods. And had Trump not done what he did with these tariffs, they would not have done that. He basically played hardball and told the nations of the world, you're either going to do business with us on our terms or we're not going to do business with you, and we're going to tariff the literal Comey out of you. Now, we got some folks that think we're a little over the top with it, and they take our clips and they show it on their pages like we're, a little over the top. I don't care what country you're in tonight. Let me tell you this. You may not like it. You can lump it, but it's working. The tariffs are not tearing the economy down. They're making the economy go better. If your country has been screwing us over and these tariffs you think are causing hardship in your country, you deal with your own leaders. Maybe they should learn a lesson and say, maybe we shouldn't be screwing America over. Maybe perhaps we shouldn't have been doing this all along, and maybe Trump wouldn't have had to do this and basically beat you down like a redheaded stepchild to get you to the table. And I like Mr. Modi. I respect this man in India. He's a good man. This thing with Pakistan got very dangerously close to something that could have been very bad for both nations and the entire world. thanks to President Trump and his leadership and Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance. They got the Indian and the Pakistani governments to stand down, and now we've got a trade deal. That's three. That's three. We've got the UK. We have got India now, and from what I understand, a plan in principle is on the table with China. With China. And more's coming. And I say this to the other nations of the world. You want to go bankrupt and fight the United States on this? Fight us. Fight us. Sulk and pout and say, well, everything's Trump's fault. Everything's Trump's fault that our goods are so high. No, it's not Trump's fault. It's your own country's fault. Trump's just making sure that we don't get screwed anymore. I'm doing a lot of tipping of the hat tonight. Good job. That's big news tonight. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Now, speaking of the Clintons, and then we're going to take your questions, because this is a late night, and we're already going 50 minutes. God, this is going by fast. Here is a little reminder for all you Clintonites out there that just love Bill and Hillary. Just love them. This is a reminder that when she was out there saying today that Trump was getting a quid pro quo from this jet that Qatar was basically giving to the Department of Defense. They wasn't giving it to Trump. It was not a personal gift. It didn't have Donald Trump Mar-a-Lago Airlines on it. It's going to be a plane they're going to use for Air Force One. Air Force One is, folks, that jet is so old they need a new one. And Qatar stepped up and said, hey, we'll loan you one. We'll give it to you. They're not even loaning it, folks. They're giving it to us. But Hillary had to stick her nose in it today, and it didn't work out too good on Twitter. I was understanding she was blocking accounts left and right. I put it like this. She blocked so many accounts that people thought they were being Clintonized. They were probably saying, I'm about to be suicided with 2 bullets in the back of my head. Hillary's blocking me. Woo! But roll the tape. Roll the tape.
A list of donors just released by the Clinton Foundation includes a who's who of international business and billionaires. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia gave at least $10 million to the William J. Clinton Foundation, a nonprofit created by the former president. Other foreign government donors include Norway, Kuwait, Qatar, Brunei, Oman, Italy, and Jamaica. For the first time since Clinton, then president, started fundraising for his foundation, he has released what his aides call a complete donor list. The globe-trotting Clinton's foundation has been raised as a concern regarding possible conflicts of interest should his wife become President-elect Barack Obama's top diplomat. Donors gave Clinton's foundation at least $492 million from its 1997 creation through last year. After negotiations with Obama's transition team, Clinton promised to reveal the contributors.
Yeah, they're going to reveal them all right. They're going to reveal them all right. Hillary, this is her tweet today. No one gives someone $400 million gives a $400 million jet for free without expecting anything in return. Be serious, please. It's late night, Hill. I got to be able to sleep. I don't want to have to go to bed laughing so hard I can't rest tonight. Are you seriously saying that? You got to listen to this again, folks. Listen, how much money has passed through the Clinton Foundation? Listen to this.
By the Clinton Foundation includes a who's who of international business and billionaires. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia gave at least $10 million to the William J. Clinton Foundation, a nonprofit created by the former president. Other foreign government donors include Norway, Kuwait, Qatar, Brunei, Oman, Italy, and Jamaica. For the first time since Clinton, then president, started fundraising for his foundation, he has released what his aides call a complete donor list. The globe-trotting Clinton's foundation has been raised as a concern regarding possible conflicts of interest should his wife become President-elect Barack Obama's top diplomat. Donors gave Clinton's foundation at least $492 million from its 1997 creation through last year. After negotiations with Obama's transition team, Clinton promised to reveal the contributors.
There we go. By the way, this is the clip I was looking for. RFK today. This is what happened today on the Hill.
The witness will suspend. The committee will come to order. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room. Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be tolerated.
All right, that's Ben and Jerry right there. Ben Cohen. You can't hear him over the other lady's crap, but he's screaming, Congress is killing the children in Gaza. Congress is killing because of the support for Israel and their support for they wanting to defund Israel. This is the most overpriced ice cream, and it sucks. I mean, we Southerners, we got a high tolerance for it. Even Ben and Jerry's ice cream makes me want to gag. And it's about $11 too. So you just gotta love folks like this. But that's the infamous Ben Cohen of the sucky Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Roll the tape.
Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts its business. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room.
They removed him all right.
That was a made for C-SPAN moment.
Yep.
The secretary will resume.
And here is a Harvard professor that needs to be fired. I want you to listen to this, folks. Your tax dollars. This is why Trump's defunding Harvard. This is one of their wonderful teachers that's teaching your children that's going there.
I'll teach a class in 5 minutes. I'm going to say,
okay,
I support a free Palestine. I do support demonizing Jews.
Okay, you do support. That's good, man. I like hearing this.
I support.
They are.
Let me play that again. A Harvard professor. He said it. Chris didn't say it. He said this.
I'll teach a class in 5 minutes. I'm going to say,
okay,
I support a free Palestine. I do support demonizing Jews.
Okay, you do support. That's good, man. I like hearing this.
Yeah, I bet the Arab does. We like demonizing Jews. That's right here in good old sunny America. Good old sunny Harvard. Good old sunny Harvard, you know.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Elementary, my dear Watson. It's elementary, my dear Watson. Here's some good advice tonight on a late night, Friday morning, late night Thursday.
We're appealing to the community to help us. Parents, get your children. That was the C.J. Davis that came out of me. Get your children. If you want life and if you love your children, help them stay alive by paying attention to them, just like the mayor said. Either they will die to gun violence or they will end their lives in jail.
Here's my dear buddy Buck Sexton. Got to meet Bud at CPAC on the South African situation. I've got a lot to say about that. We've not covered that as much as I wanted to. We've got a lot of stories on our Telegram room about it. There's so much news, folks. I tell you, all this crap is happening so fast. That's why we got to do 2 shows a night. I don't like doing 2 shows a night because I'm really doing 4 because I'm doing 2 in the morning and 2 at night. But this explains what happened in South Africa with this apartheid. And again, the hypocrisy of the left tonight is we don't want the white farmers here because they're white supremacists, but you can bring all your gangbangers and rapists and murderers and all that. Roll the tape.
And if you look next door to what happened in Zimbabwe, formerly Rhodesia, with Mugabe, who died some years back, but he was the dictator there, they had a land expropriation campaign. There's talk of that happening now in South Africa fully. It has not happened, and I believe it's come up in the legislature. But they say, you know what? The land belongs to the black people in this country, not the white people. That was what happened in Zimbabwe. It went from being the breadbasket of Africa to being a place that cannot feed itself as a country and has inflation rates in the trillions of dollars. I mean, you can't even, no one can conceive of the numbers of inflation that happened in Zimbabwe. Basically destroyed the country. And there's talk of doing that in South Africa. There's also rolling blackouts in the country. There's corruption that would make what happens in some parts of Latin America look like it was Switzerland. The place is a mess, and there's still tremendous blame and resentment on the white. I even saw it on the MSNBC panel. This is what I do with my mornings. This, earlier today, where there's tremendous blame for the white people who live there. Like, some of them are, they were born after apartheid ended. Like, why are they being punished for this? And what it really goes to, Megan, is they cannot, the Democrat leftist mind cannot conceive of a situation in which there is discrimination against white people. They believe racism is an ailment specific to white people, and it is impossible for non-whites to be racist. And so this is an absolute.
Yep, that is absolute right, Buck. Good to see you. Zimbabwe is doing the same thing. Look out for this story. This story is going to have legs for a while. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. What a week. What a week. I certainly have something to talk about every day. Certainly have something to talk about on the radio every day. K-Star Talk Radio, by the way, will be on in about 12 hours, actually, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. All righty. I got something else. I'm going to play an audio clip. This is off of our Telegram room. I want you to listen to this young lady thanking President Trump. Thanking President Trump for saving the hostages. And it's touching. You're going to have to listen good, though. The audio is not the best, but I think it's worth you listening to. She says it well, better than I can say it. Here she is. This is Emily Austin. Thank you, President Trump.
Dear Mr. President, thank you for bringing me home.
Thank you for bringing me home.
Thank you so much, President Trump, for bringing so many of our hostages home. We appreciate all of your continued efforts.
Thank you, President Trump, for bringing so many of the hostages home and accomplishing what no other leader could have accomplished.
I think it's appropriate to thank President Donald Trump and his administration for all that they have been doing.
And we just thank you for prioritizing bringing hostages home. Thank you for bringing me home.
I am standing here because of you.
And I deeply want to thank you. You're giving me my life back.
I just want to thank President Trump for helping bring all these hostages home. Eden Alexander was just released. You had the sign President Trump on your way back.
I want to take a moment to thank President Donald J. Trump for his tireless efforts to get Eden released.
I stood with you and the family of Eden Alexander on the anniversary of the October 7th attacks, and I watched as you promised them that you would stop at nothing to bring their son home. A few months later, that is exactly what you did.
We have not forgotten the rest of the hostages.
Please don't stop until they're all home. We need your help to bring them back home.
We need them home, please.
And folks, that is going to be a story. That is going to be a story that is going to be something that the media will not report on. I can tell you they're not reporting on it tonight. And I think it's one of the bigger things that's happened in the first 100 days of the presidency. The number of people that President Trump, is not just Israel, it's not just the hostages out of Gaza, but it's other countries that have been holding dissidents of our nation for no reason, and some of them have been there for trumped-up charges, pardon the pun. And President Trump, because of leadership, has got these people home. And he gets no credit for it. And I thought that was a very touching video, and we're going to play it. We'll show you the faces tomorrow night. Some of it was media type, but some of them were the hostages themselves. But you could hear the audio there. I got a ton of stuff to talk to you about and do, but it's already 1 o'clock. So I'm going to give you the chance tonight on this late night special. Carol Smith, if you're listening to me, I just saw your comment. I'm hoping you're safe from the tornadoes. We've got those coming through here tomorrow night, perhaps. Prayers for Carol up in Michigan. Michigan and Illinois and Wisconsin, people around Lake Michigan, be safe tonight. Some bad weather up there. If you got a question, time to rock and roll. 91-9. The poll, we've got 70 votes, 9%, so that's 10%. That's about 7 of you. Now, I saw a few of you said you voted the wrong way, so probably about 4 or 5 of you believe that you do believe Comey when he said that he doesn't know what 86 means. But I'll be generous. 94 to 95% of you say it's BS. We're going to keep that poll up until we finish. All righty. Good to see Cleo in the house with us tonight. Thank you, dear, for being up with us. And thank you so much for all you do. She is doing well. Stephen Feinhoyt. Fetterman should be a Republican. He should be, Stephen. He's actually he is acting like one. He's acting like a lot better Republican than the Republicans are doing. So I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that totally, buddy. Good to see you tonight. Good to see you up late with us. Good to see everybody up late with us. And let's see here. Good to see Deborah Havens. Any comments and questions? It's your turn now. People were putting paragraphs in while I was talking. Now you got your shot to talk. Nobody wants to talk. Come on. If you got a question, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we're going to get out of here. Let's see if we got anybody. Liz Goldman, good to see you. She says, Cohen is Jewish. I just don't understand how they can hate Israel. Liz, that is an excellent question, and that is a question that's been asked by many a political pundit. It's a question that I've had in my own heart. I will never understand that, other than it's really not even about being Jewish. It's just about this liberal ideology. And you're absolutely correct. And Liz, I'll just give you even a better example than that. The one and only architect of evil that's been behind pretty much subversion of nations for almost a decade now, probably longer, is George Soros. He's Jewish. He's Jewish. And he hates Israel too. He hates Israel too, and his son does. But it's good. That's a good point. That's an excellent point. Dennis says 86 we know, but put the 7 plus 4 with it, 25. Strange. Well, yeah, Dennis, it's true, but it's that's a good point. It's 2025. I see what you're saying now. The 47 is Trump. I mean, it's really 4 plus 7. But anyway, hope you got your book, by the way, Ben. Hope you got your books. We'll send them out this week. Yeah, it's strange, period. And Dennis, I don't understand what he thinks he's going to accomplish. He's got to have known. He would have had to have known that the backlash was going to be furious. I mean, you don't post something like that without, and especially as the former director of the FBI, who you know, and not you, Dennis, but the world knows that there was animosity between him and Trump. And he has as much done this before with veiled threats. And even while he was FBI director, there was always veiled talk. He would say things and hint that they were coming after Trump, and they did eventually, and they have. And I don't know what the motive would be, other than just stupidity or Trump derangement syndrome. I can't wait for what President Trump's got to say about it tomorrow, because he's not chimed in yet. His son has. And the whole Trump family, folks, have been through hell with this. I'm telling you, look, my dad's gone on to be with the Lord. But if this was my father that was going through this stuff, there wouldn't be... I know we brothers. I know my brothers, and I'm going to tell you something. This would not be good for those doing it. It just would. And, this is why Chris will never be president. Chris would never stand in front of a camera and give a press conference, because I'm afraid that I'll lose some of you as my friend. I'll lose some of you as my friend. Anyway. Thank you, man. I'm glad you got him. Liz, good to see you tonight, and that's a good comment that you made about Cohen. It's a good analogy. It's very, very true. GD says Hillary is the quid pro quo queen. Corey Aguilar's in the house tonight. Good to see you. Elena, I don't know what's going on. She says, I heard it was a term used by the old mob that meant to drive them 8 miles out of town and put them 6 feet under. Elena, it is. It is. That was 45 minutes ago. Yes. 886 means to drive them 8 miles out. Ducey mentioned that. 8 miles out, 6 feet under. So for Comey to claim he don't know that, yeah. Okay. Whatever. Anyway. Lord have mercy. Wayne, I don't want to talk about the Pope tonight. It is off topic. I don't want to talk about it. We've done shows on the Pope. You can go back and listen to the show. I don't want to get into that tonight. Stephen says, how could a Jew betray his own people? Stephen, they can do it. You know, I'm telling you, I will tell you this. You know, in the Holocaust, I think one of the most horrific things, if you read history, was the Jews that betrayed their fellow Jewish brethren to the Nazis, thinking they were going to save their own life. And many of them would basically be paid by the Nazis to keep the other Jews in line, and they didn't realize that they were always destined for those trains too. And many of them, if not all of them, wound up on those trains to the gas camps. But the betrayal during the Holocaust was something that it rips your heart out when you read stories about it. Look, I'm not a big fan of Steven Spielberg. And I'm a less fan of Liam Neeson. As far as what they feel about America, Liam Neeson says some of the most stupidest stuff about America and our gun control laws over here. But one of the movies that has always touched me the most about the Holocaust was Schindler's List. There was some things in it that were probably not 100% accurately true historically, but it's close. Amon Goth was a monster. And what they did to Krakow, Poland, if you read the history and compare the movie, it was pretty accurate. And but Oskar Schindler was not a believer in Jesus. But Oskar Schindler saw something. And he looked in his soul, he looked in the abyss of his soul and realized that all the money in the world couldn't buy a soul, couldn't buy a person. But that movie sort of illustrates how the Jews turned on each other, and there was no loyalty at that time. I'm with you. I don't understand how they can betray their own people, but Stephen, I can't understand how Americans can betray our own country either. I think the parallel to this is what's going on with these congressional Democrats that get up there and betray our country. I mean, we got a country tonight that's full of traitors. They are willing to sell our... Look, if you've got Congress people that are more upset tonight that the Trump administration is not bringing a twice convicted, twice deported terrorist back from a sovereign country. And Tim Kaine, by the way, is out there claiming that Trump is colluding with El Salvador, and he's saying if we find out he's colluding, so that's going to be your next collusion hoax. It ain't going to be the Russia hoax, it'll be the El Salvador hoax. But Stephen, your point's well taken. But it's no different than what we Americans are doing to our country in leadership. Some of these leaders are doing the same thing to our country. They're betraying us, we the people. Carol says, I'm still here. Multiple tornadoes confirmed have touched ground. Carol, we're praying you're safe, friend. We are praying that you're safe. We are praying that you're safe. Good to see you tonight. Grateful you're up with us. And thank you for being here tonight. All of you. Thank all of you for being here. Corey Aguilar, good to see you tonight. Good to see you. Good to see you. And pretty much everybody over in Facebook tonight says they don't believe Comey didn't know. They believe that he did know what he was posting, and I do too. You'd have to... I'm going to use Hillary's words during the Gulf War when Bush was going into Iraq and the weapons of mass destruction, and she made that infamous comment to David Petraeus, and she said we'd have to suspend reality to believe that Bush didn't know that there wasn't weapons of mass destruction. We'd have to suspend reality. Well, let me tell Comey this, and let me tell Hillary something. We got to suspend reality, Hillary, that you didn't take quid pro quo money from foreign governments for favors and and certain things from the Clinton Foundation. For goodness sake. Goodness sake. James Comey. I mean, folks, and I don't know. I don't even know his motive. You know, I don't know what the motive would be, because he's not going to benefit from this. I mean, he's in trouble. He legally broke the law tonight. It's what he did. I mean, he really broke the law. And all. All righty, folks. It's 1:15. I've been going an hour and 15 minutes. If you ain't got no more questions, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to call it a night. Good to see Salty Mary. Good to see all the folks in the house. Good to see Annie Jensen. Teresa Cerna, I saw you in there. I thought you were in there. Good to see you tonight. I don't know if you're still up. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope to see you soon. God bless you. God bless you. And folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Man, I tell you what, Bill Federer, if you missed the early bird, you got to go back and listen to our early special tonight. We had the one and only, the greatest historian of all time, Bill Federer, AmericanMinute.com. He talked about America's role in the restoration and the reformation of Israel as a nation, and he did it in Bill Federer style, which is awesome. He filled in the blanks that you Bible students didn't quite have filled in by me this morning. Chris was doing his best, but I'm no Bill Federer. And it was it worked out tonight that he was with us, because our guest that was supposed to be was sick physically and couldn't come. Carla Nicole will be back with us. Leslie will be back next week. James Akers will be back with us. But we're going to follow all these stories. We encourage you to stay up on top of us in these events with the Telegram Room, the Mac News and Journal Report, and also if you'll see the MacFiles channel and network, we're actually posting stories there now and polls. We're getting more interactive with that. Please subscribe to those Telegram rooms, folks. There's a lot of bots and a lot of things that are taking our numbers down, and we need that surge to get the algorithm where people can find us if they're looking for us. Look, it's late. This is my 4th show today, and I'm probably going to have three tomorrow at least. So I'll see you guys in the Faith Side at 10 o'clock this morning, and then I'll be back here tomorrow night. We may have 2 shows, we may have 1 show, but we will have a McJustice segment tomorrow night. First time in 5 years, and it's going to be riveting stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and warn you 24 hours ahead of time. There are some videos, and I've already watched them, that we cannot fix the language on. And there's going to be some language in these videos. So if language is not your thing and you get offended at bad language, please don't come into this chat and complain about the language of these videos after we've told you that there is some language in these videos that we cannot change. We don't like the language no more than you do. But these are videos we're going to be showing you tomorrow night of some of the lawless behavior of our nation. We're going to talk about a couple of crime stories that we're following. And we'll probably be talking about James Comey tomorrow night, because this is a criminal justice matter now. It's in the hands of the FBI and the Secret Service. We will see. But if he worms his way out of this, I will lose all respect for Kash Patel. I will lose all respect for the FBI and the Secret Service. Because if you can't convict somebody for doing this tonight, they're not going to do anything to anybody. Trump will need to hire his own. He'll probably need to hire 3 security firms to protect him. Because if they can't protect him from these kind of threats, coming from within our own government, coming from within a former FBI director, they can't protect him from nothing. And it bothers me. It bothers the you-know-what out of me. I wouldn't have even tweeted it out. As I said, James Comey would be spending his carcass in the jail cell tonight. There wouldn't be no Shangri-La or Hilton or the Hampton Inn. It would be the booking down at the wherever he lives local jailhouse. And that's McJustice. That's McJustice. Listen, have a great night, everybody. We're grateful for you being with us. And we will see you back here later on in the morning. And anyway, thank you all. And Annie, good to see you. Really, truly, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you from the Philippines. All you overseas folks. Cleo's overseas tonight. Good to see our folks down under. Thank you, friend. I know you. Thank you for being with us tonight and hanging in here and helping us moderate in the late night show. We appreciate you much. Very much. God bless you and your family. Listen, we love you guys. I will see you all. Jenny Castellanova, just because you stayed up late with me, just for you, Jenny.
Do you understand the words that come out of my mouth?
I hope you did tonight. Because...
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Elementary, my dear Watson. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you back here later today. And then tonight, McJustice on a Friday night. If I'm not doing what Carol Smith's doing, because that weather's coming this way, if I'm dodging tornadoes, Chris will be down here, and I'll be holding my hand up like this, doing the videos under the table. But we will be here tomorrow night, okay? I'm just saying. Y'all be safe up in Michigan tonight. Carol, I hope you're safe, friend. God bless you. Much love. Have a good night, everybody. Or a good morning.